Bandit here. It's Saturday. I'm gonna do a series of videos today, because I'm trying to get everything rolling with my channel. I think it's very important that young men understand and older men understand the trap that we in. And this video is gonna be about Paul Elam. Now, I have been listening to Paul Elam for many years. And he's a men's rights activist, and he has spoken about the black community. He's spoken about divorce, marriage, why it's not good and it's a bad deal to get married, and he talked about borderline personality and women and all these things. He speak about women, but I'm gonna call this video the Paul Elam effect. I think black men are waking up. I really do. As you know, that I'm in the adult entertainment business, and I been in that business for a long time, and a lot of black men that I meet, they don't want to deal with black women anymore. And what I learned from Paul Elam was that it came from the white woman. The way black women act today came from the white woman. Let me explain. There was a thing called the sexual revolution in the 60s. Women wanted to be able to do what they want to do. Their body, their choice. They wanted to be able to they wanted their body to be out there, and be able to do what they wanted to do and express themselves with their bodies without judgment. And they wanted to, they basically, they said, hey, we're going to bring abortion to it. They brought the birth control pill. It started with the birth control pill. I learned this from Paul Elam. He said it really went down with the birth control pill. And so the birth control pill allowed women to be able to go out and lay around and have a magic pill that would clean up their mess. And I have to choose my words wisely on YouTube, because certain words you can't say, which I don't understand, because, I can tap any video. I could tap in Lil Nas X, Cardi B, or Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg. I could look at their videos, I could look at their songs, and it would say every harsh word on the song. They don't ban the songs at all on YouTube, and so I think it's a money thing, because they know people are gonna want to hear music, so they'll let that go, because that brings revenue to YouTube. So I think it's a money thing. I don't really think that they're hating on the speech that we're saying. I think what it is it's going against their profit margin. And so that's the way I look at it. So if you are speaking about something that is not right, and they're making money against that thing that you're speaking of, they're making money from the thing that you're speaking of, then they're going to strike you, because now you're messing with their profit margin. That's just business. That's just business. So I have to choose my words very wisely in what I say. I'm going to start going live soon. Might go live tonight. But Paul Elam said that when a man get with a woman, he really don't know what he's dealing with if he haven't been properly trained. Men today are looking at a woman's physical attributes. And even then, today, he might be looking at something that's not even real. Women are getting BBLs, they're getting breast jobs, they're getting augmentations. They get their lips done. They're getting cheeks and they're getting all kind of stuff done to their physical appearance. And you have to deal with filters and everything. So when you go online and see a woman, even if you see her in public, in person, you with all the body magic, you're not looking at a real person. You're not. So what Paul Elam was basically saying is this: what are you investing in? Are you investing in something real, or are you investing in something fake? With a man, everything is investment, time. Okay? You can lose on investment and time you cannot get back. Okay? So you have to be wise in your decision making. And that's what I learned from Paul Elam. You have to be wise. You have to be a free thinker. You have to study. You have to get to know who you're dealing with. You have to know their families. My ex-wife never met her father. I never met her mother. Never met anyone in her family before we got married. Before me and my ex-wife got married, I knew nobody in her family. I knew her aunt. I can't say I didn't know anyone. I knew her aunt and her aunt's daughter. Her mother, her father, her uncles, anybody else I did not know. I still married that woman. Didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about her upbringing or nothing. I was just a fool and stupid and doing whatever and was so happy that I thought somebody who cared about me, I was just happy somebody cared about me. And that's what men are going through. But men are ashamed to admit it. They are ashamed to admit the fact that, hey man, I'm just happy somebody cared about me. Because they probably was in a family where they didn't get no attention. Nobody cared about them. Nobody expressed love for them. They just simply survived their childhood. And I'm one of those guys. I just simply survived my childhood. It was not a happy childhood for me. Okay? I don't even think about my childhood. You have a lot of people in the world miss their childhood. They reflect on their childhood. Say, man, I really had a good time. I was moved around so much when I was growing up that I didn't even have a chance to have friends. I can't tell you anybody from high school, the many high schools I went to, that I can call or say, hey, how you doing? How's it been? I can't tell you anybody from middle school. Well, back when I was growing up, it was junior high school. There was no such thing as middle school when I was in high school. I'm old. Even elementary school. I can't name one person because I went to so many schools because I was passed around through family members. I met my mother when I was in my 20s. She was already a grandmother by me when I met her. So I didn't have the type of a childhood that I could say, man, I remember when such and such and this. I was surviving. To have a good meal was a good day for me. You see what I'm saying? And so I understand what these young men are going through when they just trying to survive. So Paul Elam, when I listened to his videos, I think about 10 years ago, I started listening to Paul Elam, maybe a little longer. He was basically saying that the black woman attached themselves to the feminist movement. And somewhere in their mind, they decided that black men was oppressing black women. So when the 70s came, like 1970, 71, 72, 73, those men came back from Vietnam, they didn't have no home to come home to. Because the black woman had already made a deal with the government. She had already made a deal to say, hey, I'm going to make sure this ninja is not in my home so I can receive this check. But at the same time, I got to get my groove on. So guess what they did? They had doing their thing with men in the community. So you had women that had 3 or 4 kids About 3 or 4 men. So they got their cake and ice cream and they ate it all. And so by the time the 80s came, now you got your Oprah Winfrey's come out and say that the men don't care about their kids and the men are abusive to the women. That's false. That is completely false. Women was getting with guys that was in the dope game. They was getting with guys if they was physically attractive or they met a certain standard. But those guys wasn't promising marriage or anything. That's why in the 80s, most of these women never been married. And if you go back to a lot of the videos, if you look up the old videos of them interviewing these young women, the young women would say, I don't want to be married. I can take care of the kids myself. You can look this up. You can look it up. I don't have to beat a dead horse about this. These are facts. And so it gave Oprah Winfrey $1 billion status. It gave all the talk show hosts $1 million status on the backs of black men. They didn't talk about rural America where it was a lot of poor whites. Okay. I'm talking about your West Virginias, your Somerset Kentuckys, your Mississippi, your Jackson, Mississippi's, and your Mobile, Alabamas, and your South Carolinas, and all that. I'm talking about rural, your Iowas, and all. I'm talking about rural white areas where they were poor. Okay, but it's kind of strange to me how they was able to hold their families together in trailers. They was able to hold their families together in shacks. Okay? They were able. Now, you're going to have your bad seeds in every community. But when over 80% today of black women have kids out of wedlock and kids, they're single mothers. That is an epidemic. That's worse than the coronavirus. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. The C virus. My bad. YouTube, forgive me. The C virus. Okay? That's worse. And we ain't even going to get into abortion where they have the right to kill your seed in the womb. So what I learned from Paul Elam is that the government gave them the power. A black man is foolish to think that he got power today. Because even if you have millions of dollars as a black man, look what they did to Bill Cosby. Look what they did to him. You're talking about 40 years ago. Over 40 years ago, this man went to prison for something that they alleged that he did 40-something years ago. They was able to come back and get this man for something that was alleged. You got black men going to jail because a woman said something. You see my place here? I live by myself. Why? Because I don't need no one coming into my life saying I did anything to them. No cohabitation, no marriage is what I learned from Paul Elam. To wrap it all up, what I learned from Paul Elam is no marriage, no cohabitation. I went MGTOW. I went my own way and I learned what it was to be a man. And the only way you can learn how to be a true man is that you have to get to yourself and get in a quiet place and suffer. And the suffering will come from you in your head. All the bad decisions that you made, and you will have to deal with them and climb out of that hole. And once you get out of that hole, the sunlight will hit you in the face. And then you will be free and you will be able to see what's in front of you. And that's what MGTOW is about. MGTOW is not something that you live forever. MGTOW is an awakening to get to that next step. It's kind of like Christianity. You get saved, you get baptized in the Holy Spirit, you get baptized and you get saved. And now you got to start doing the works. You got to fast. You got to pray. You got to meditate. You got to be in it, but not of it. You got to be in the world, but not of the world. It's steps. So MGTOW is not incels. They're not guys who can't get women. I've been married. I got 3 baby mothers. I'm tatted all up. Don't live the street life and all that. I'm not an incel. I have women trying to come home with me all the time. I got women trying to get with me all the time. I say no. Why? I'm a work in progress. I see the matrix. I see everything like numbers now. And I know women don't do anything for nothing. Especially in today's world. In today's world, nothing is free. Not companionship, not love, not attention. Everything has a price. And that's why I'm MGTOW. And I appreciate Paul Elam for taking up for MGTOW because he said it point blank. You got to start somewhere to have an awakening. And MGTOW is the way. And with that being said, Bandits out.